Welcome to the Heavily Altered Podcast, episode 17. I'm Naimur.
I'm Daniel.
I'm.
He forgot
Did
his
he
name.
saying something? Or did he cut out?
No, he forgot his name.
Oh, he's just being stupid. It's a bit. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh
And
my
I'm-
god, he's being stupid.
And I'm dictator of Cuba Fidel Castro.
No, we're not doing
Nope.
that.
we can't keep introducing ourselves as dictators every single podcast.
Yeah. Okay, so how are you guys? It's been a week. No, it's been like a couple weeks, right?
It's been
Since we
like
uploaded?
2 weeks, right?
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, Texas.
Texas died. We could just leave it at that.
Honestly,
became very
Texas
snowy.
died.
Texas died.
Yeah, so
For a
basically,
That
Texas is
climate
dead.
change doesn't exist because there is snow in Texas.
yeah. So like
That's me
for
impersonating
those of you
some-
that aren't aware or didn't look at people like yelling at Texas for being Texas, usually it doesn't snow in Texas. The most that ever happens is like 0.1 of an inch, like mist on the ground like once every like 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like the last
and then
time it
like
really
maybe
snowed,
an inch every like 7 years, right?
Yeah,
Like that's about it.
the last time it really snowed was like 6 years ago, like in 2015.
And even then, it probably wasn't even snow.
no, it
just
was
ice.
no, it was like well,
Was
It was snow, but it was like over
no, but it
time
happened
it was just a
a,
slush.
but it happened a lot though, like in 2015 and stuff. Remember, it happened a lot.
Oh yeah, that was in 7th grade. Yeah. I remember.
Yeah, in our 7th grade, it happened so much. It felt like in March and February, it felt like every other week it snowed. So we just got. Like,
But
a
it
day
wasn't
off.
like a dangerous amount. It wasn't this amount. What we had.
Yeah, it wasn't like blizzard, and it wasn't everywhere in Texas. It was just like our neck of the woods and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It might have been other parts. Yeah. But then, effectively, this time around, like all of Texas, everywhere in Texas, got a blizzard, like snowstorm warnings, and like blizzard in
Yeah.
like a Texas sense of things, meaning like more than
Yeah,
like,
it's not technically a blizzard.
the occasional 3 inches of snow. It's like maybe like 3 or 4, or the
Mhm.
occasional like 1 inch of snow. It's like 3 or
But
4.
it's enough
Plus
freezing.
icing.
Yeah, I was gonna say enough freezing and icing to cause a lot of damage. Namer, I kind of want to hear because I didn't really get that much information on. I didn't really talk with anyone that whole week.
Oh
other
yeah,
than
and y'all
Luke,
too. I want to
really.
know what happened with y'all because I don't know.
Well,
What happened.
yeah,
that's
we have
what
a
I was about
story.
to say.
Here's the
I
story.
I was without power for probably 8 hours at a time, 8 to 10 hours at a time.
Was this in your house or your dorm?
every single in my house.
And
So,
since Daniel and I live
yeah.
nearby very nearby each other, we are neighbors.
Mhm.
We both had the same issues where we had power. For the first day, we didn't have power at all.
Yeah.
We had, I think, like half an hour's worth.
Yeah, it was half
then
an
it
hour.
went
It was
out.
like 10 hours of no power, half an hour, 10 hours of no power, half hour. And it was,
Yeah.
it was horrible. Like, we were freezing
That-
temperatures inside our house. Not it really, but you know what I mean?
That-
Like
yeah,
50,
that
48
first day-
in our house.
That first day on Monday night at 2 o'clock in the morning,
Mhm.
my entire family was woken up by carbon monoxide alarms.
Because
Every single carbon monoxide alarm in the house went off because the power went off.
Carbon
and
monoxide or fire alarm?
both.
Oh, okay.
It's just the carbon monoxide was much worse. But every single one went off
Mhm.
because the power went out and the batteries were broken, I guess. Or the batteries weren't
Yeah.
enough to last it.
Right, because
Um,
power went
So
out,
that's
so
what
they were
happens
running off
in
the
the house,
batteries,
yeah.
and then the batteries ran out, so they went off.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So that was a very... That kind of set the tone for the whole week.
I've only been awoken by fire alarms going off maybe like once in my life, and it was like when I was 8, and it was like one of those times where we forgot to replace the batteries one spring or whatever, and so
Oh, yeah, mine happens like
Yeah.
maybe once every other time I cook. Like I cook steak.
Well, I
And
mean,
forgot to
yeah,
find
I
the,
set
like,
off-
Exister,
Yeah.
whatever, and so it's like beep boop beep boop beep boop beep boop. I'm like, oh no,
Right.
It's like super foggy inside in the kitchen.
So what you're saying is you just don't know how to cook.
No, it depends, and then sometimes
Just burn out.
I get like an oil fire. So like when I put the steak on, it just like starts sprouting fire everywhere. Like whoa. I don't know.
That's actually...
I feel
that's
like
actually
he's gonna
dope. I
burn
love
his
those.
house down. Holy
Yeah.
cow!
Yeah,
of
so
this,
for me,
yeah,
for me
go ahead.
personally, because I'm not in college nearby. I'm a little bit further down. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not even gonna figure it out because I don't know. I don't really care.
Naimur's in Central Texas. We're in North Texas, basically.
Am I in Central Texas? I have no clue. I mean,
Anyway, relatively.
Let's not worry
Central.
about it.
He
Let's
doesn't
not
know which
worry
way
about
he
it.
drives.
Yeah. Okay. So, for me, I was personally like fine. Like at least for our dorm, we had power, we had water. We did have like a low water like notice, like water conservation notice, where it was like, hey, we're at critically low levels. Like please, like just be careful. Like I heard like like in Austin and stuff, there was boil water notice, so we didn't have.
Yeah, there was one here too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At our college. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just like, okay, at least we have like water, because we don't have any cases of water. We use the Brita, and the Brita's not good enough for that stuff. And then on top of that, like everything on campus, like restaurants, everything was closed. So like
Where'd you get food?
So for the first few days, we went to the dining hall. I guess they opened up the dining halls for everybody, so it was like packed all the time. So it was like kind of annoying because like the lines were literally like out the wazoo across like everywhere. And then we were just like whatever. There was a Domino's. We went there. We spent like 30 minutes like outside in the cold. Oh my god, that was terrible. My feet were freezing.
Our college was running out of food.
Yeah.
By Friday.
Yeah, everything was closed. Like everything.
Yeah, it's still even almost out of food today.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Or this
we
week.
don't. Some of the dining halls
back
aren't
for
open
us.
because
I think everything's back for us. But yeah, and then we went to like some other places. It like felt like a journey every time we had to like walk out and venture. Just like and then.
But during the day, were you like hindered by anything? You said you still had power and everything, so could you still like do schoolwork?
Oh yeah, but they like.
Did you guys have school?
So the way ours worked was they were originally going to be like, hey, like everything's just going to be remote only. Like even if you have an in-person class, it would be remote. Then literally the first day of classes, so on Monday. So like it snows Sunday night, I assume. Like Sunday night, like everybody's like, whoa, it's so cool. They're like playing in the snow, like just everything. Because they already did like pre-snow stuff. They were like, okay, everything's closed. Like you're gonna have to go to like the dining hall and stuff. And so like Sunday night, like everybody was packed inside the dining hall because like we're changing the hours. And then like snow everywhere. It's like really nice. It's very pretty. Like snow's just like really nice. It makes me wonder like what it'd be like to like live in Massachusetts or go to college like Massachusetts. Like I feel
somewhere
like
where
really
it snows quite frequently, but it's not. It doesn't completely shut down your entire city.
Yeah, because they're used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically. Where am I getting with this? Yeah, like I have a 9 a.m. on Monday. I'm like, okay, so I assume like I'm just gonna have to go on 9 a.m. at Zoom. So whatever, I'll just go to sleep. Then I wake up at like 6, or I wake up at 7 a.m. Got a notice saying all classes canceled, like today or Monday, Tuesday. It's like including virtual because I guess there was power outages in other dorms. Nearby.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so I was like, oh sweet. Like I just went back to bed. I woke up at like 3 p.m.
Yeah, our colleges did that. Did they eventually canceled the whole week? Did yours cancel the whole week?
Yeah. So then Monday, Tuesday, and then Tuesday goes around. They're like, okay, Wednesday, Thursday is gonna be canceled. And so we're like, are they gonna cancel Friday? Because everything's like clearing up Friday. And there's like, yeah, what Friday's canceled as well. And then finally, like I think, so Saturday is when it starts fully melting. Sunday's like it's all gone effectively. But. Yeah, it was kind of annoying just purely because of I don't know, it just felt like why close everything? Like everything was closed. Like literally it's just like
I think it was a safety thing though. I think they didn't want people out and about. They wanted people home. But the issue is
fine.
Like if they're
then
essential,
like
you're saying like
send us
restaurants
lunch inside here.
Yeah,
send us lunch here. It's like why is a snowstorm like guarding us like hindering us way more than a pandemic ever did? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I did see
that. That's a good point.
I want to say I did absolutely nothing Monday, Tuesday, and most of Wednesday. It was literally sitting by, luckily we have a gas fireplace in our house, literally sitting bundled up in like as many blankets as possible, wearing as many layers as possible, sitting as close to the fire as possible, as like literally watching the temperature in the room just drop, because my dad has like a little thermometer that he was checking the temperature. It was dropping to like 56, 52, whatever, something in the 50s.
Did this
just
I'm curious,
inside
Daniel.
the house.
Yeah. You guys are a very like smart house type house, right? Like you have Alexas everywhere. You have like, do you have electric or like LED light bulbs or like electric light bulbs that like like Philips light bulbs?
Some
that you can control. Okay.
Yes, some.
And then you guys have a Nest, right? I'm pretty sure you have a Nest, right? Yeah, all that stuff. Did it make you reconsider like maybe we shouldn't be all techie, like in times of
because
it's the exact same.
You know what, Daniel, your Naimur? Did you look at a picture of the outages?
Not
like during that thunderstorm.
I know it was a lot. I know it was a lot. Like it was like
no.
No, he's talking about the regions that it was out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's because of
Can you
incompetence.
guess?
It's incompetence.
Huh?
I already knew that.
What, Namer?
No,
I
it
knew
was
why
the rich areas didn't have any or didn't.
No,
have,
not even that. Not even that. I'm
Is
talking
that not
about
what you're talking
of the
about?
entire U.S. of the entire United States.
No.
You know the one
Get to
state
the
that had
point.
mass
yeah.
power outages?
Yeah, because
Texas was the
Yeah.
only state.
Yeah, because Texas
The
has like
only state
a
to have mass power
independent
outages.
has an independent system compared to the other states.
That's why
Like, it's
I'm
not
saying. That's why I'm saying that we need to get rid of Texas. Period.
Well,
I
our
think
infrastructure
I
is
just
just
wanna
so
say-
old, dude, and so annoying.
Yeah.
It's just like
It's not even that it's old. It's that it's
Mm-hmm.
not even neglected. It was purposefully deregulated to avoid paying.
Yeah,
money.
they didn't want to pay to repair
it.
something because they had no
That's it.
incentive to.
it's super stupid. Like
For people who don't know,
yeah.
I just want to quickly explain. Our energy grid is privatized, just Texas, because, Texan Republicans, we're a very conservative state in general, and so they promote very,
Unfortunately.
very free market ideas, which includes, like, limiting regulations and things
basically
like that. And
Texas's
so,
state
yeah.
government does nothing. Like it consistently
Yes.
does nothing. I'm a state and local government class. I remember like earlier in the year we like had a lecture about it was a chart that was showing like state and local governments like across the country, right? Like just like and Texas was like at the near bottom for like state budget. Well, at least they don't spend a lot, but they also don't like
Yeah, they
have a
don't.
lot.
They don't tax you a lot because one of our things is we like conservatives in Texas like really low taxes, but that also means we don't spend a lot either. So, yeah, basically
Yeah.
the company that was running our electric grid was like, we have no incentive to winter-proof our energy thing. That we have no incentive to
I hate the people
repair
that
it
are like in the
before it's
cold be
broken,
like
and-
what
yeah.
are they gonna do, man? It's like nobody saw this coming. It's like, that's the whole point. It's like you do this so in case it comes, right?
Nobody
It's
saw
like-
this coming. I'm pretty sure there are multiple reports saying the U.S.'s current infrastructure, just even as a whole, our current infrastructure was designed like roughly 50 to 70 years ago, and it was designed to
Yeah.
only last 50 to 60 years. So it's like we are 10, 20 years overdue. We're about to be overdue, or we're already overdue for a like wide-scale re-infrastructure, blah, 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 whatever you want to
Yeah,
call it.
I feel bad for my
I don't
parents
know.
because like their neighborhood had no power like constantly like throughout.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, like I think a pipe burst, so like
Mm.
my sister's
Yeah,
room.
one of ours did as well.
My sister's room got completely like watered. Like there's mold like on the carpet, so they were like, and then like a water heater broke. I think both water heaters broke. I guess we had two, so both of those broke, and so it was like a lot of money. Like my dad, he was just trying to fix it all up, and fortunately, I felt bad. And it's like, cause I like going home, and so like my mom was like, yeah, maybe you just don't come home if you don't want like cold water for like a week. So like just like wait, and
Wow.
so they had cold water, and it's like up until like I think 2 days ago, like I talked to my parents 2 days ago, and they just got it fixed. So like they basically for a week had cold water after the fact, and
Yeah.
it's like it's just so frustrating. I was just like, what? Like, how
Mhm.
is this possible? It's like and like they were like saying insurance like barely covered it, if any at all. I was like, are you serious
Yeah.
right now? And
Yeah.
like everything else, just like on top of that, I was just like, oh geez, this
I
is
think-
super annoying.
I think something I find interesting, and I don't know that there's really necessarily a fix for this. Maybe it's laziness, but Luke, when your pipe burst, your dad was showing my dad photos, and my dad was like, none of the roof is insulated there where those pipes are, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I guess the builders probably didn't predict that it would get so cold that the cold would seep through the walls in Texas and cause our pipes to burst, but it does seem like, poor practice to not insulate your roof there, where you're gonna have pipes.
Yeah.
And so,
See, the
yeah,
thing
you
is,
said
I
you
don't
guys had-
have.
Mhm.
Mhm,
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Finish.
I was just gonna
Dude,
say
homeowners-
your pipes burst.
Bro, like
Yeah,
homes in
okay.
Texas, or like at least like where we grew up and stuff, like we have rapid real estate expansion like constantly. There's like different
That's
like multiplexes, like neighborhoods, everything constantly. And it's like what I've realized is these neighborhoods, these houses themselves are so poorly built, like genuinely.
Mhm.
They just basically churned them out the wazoo with the cheapest cost, maximized cost efforts. That it's like they're like so poorly built. So like obviously they're like okay relatively. Like normally under conditions, but then when something like this happens, they're like completely screwed over, right? Like, I mean, your guys' houses are like 10, 15 years old. No, they're like
Yeah.
20 years old at this point, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
So like, I kind of understand that, but it's these are just like I guess home real estate in general, right? Like they just
Mhm.
like effectively just they cut costs by like just like
Yeah.
cutting corners left and right that they can. It's super annoying.
Well, to be fair, the houses in Texas as a whole, I don't have any qualms with this. The houses in Texas are
we live
meant
in a different type, because like in Austin and stuff, most of the time the houses are renovated. They're like from like the 1920s and stuff. Like ours are relatively new, like pretty new.
No, I'm saying that the houses in Texas aren't meant, all of them, none of them are meant to trap heat. They're all meant to let heat out.
Mm-hmm.
That's
so that when it gets hot, which is the extreme that we usually have, it's way more comfortable in the house. As opposed to...
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was just going to say, normally I'd agree with you, but insulation works both summer and winter, typically.
Didn't our high school...
cold air in, and then it also keeps cold air out.
Our high school is built on geothermal, like, heating, right? Like, it basically used the ground to heat itself.
Supposedly.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
I think they also lined the walls of our school with lead to insulate.
No, they didn't.
And asbestos.
Really?
And asbestos for fireproofing.
For fireproofing.
Yeah.
That's why Naimur turned out how he is.
Hey, Naimur, that explains why the Wi-Fi was so horrible in any single classroom. Yeah. The lead and asbestos wall linings.
It depended.
Yeah, it was bad.
In some classes,
it was bad. In
some classes, it was really bad.
There were a few hot spots where it was like really, really good.
Anywhere in the back half of a hallway was bad.
Basically, yeah, if you had a back half of the hallway, or like you were a corner room that was like intersected by everything, it's like, oh, you're screwed. You're not gonna have any like Wi-Fi, or even data in general. But yeah, so that was unfortunate.
You know what sucked the most about the whole? Well, not sucked the most. A lot of people had much worse things, worrying about getting food and things like that. But for me personally, I can sit through the cold. I'm used to like, camping in the cold or whatever. Like, it's not that bad. I'll bundle up. We had the fire, right? Mm-hmm. The power was out, so we couldn't like use our phones or anything that much because, electricity is going to run low. But also Wi-Fi was out. Cellular towers in our area were out. So you couldn't even like most of the time you couldn't even text anyone. You couldn't say, "Hey, are you okay?" blah blah blah. So we're literally just sitting there doing absolutely nothing.
The more this stuff happens, the more I realize a zombie apocalypse is really possible. Like, it's like when you play Last of Us or like watch The Walking Dead, you're like, that could never happen. Like, the government's so strong.
Yeah, our infrastructure can't collapse that easily.
It's like, nah,
and then
bro.
It's like, whoa.
It collapses very easily.
Yeah, so to your point, Daniel, even after my house got power, we didn't have internet for like 2 days.
Yeah.
And, like, even after the ice started to melt and they actually got trucks out, like, on Sunday, like, well after it had melted. Maybe it was Saturday, I can't remember. Mm-hmm. This might be, like, a sort of champagne problem or whatever, first world problem, but my dad called repair people, and they had him on hold for 4 hours. 4 or 5 hours. Like, and then, so he went to the box and fixed it himself. Because it was... just that insane. Like, it was just so
Thank God your dad's like a, what do you call it, like an engineer, right? So he knows how to do it.
Yeah, that is nice. I wanted to acknowledge that as well, that we are talking about somewhat champagne problems, these first world problems.
No, it's interesting you guys break this up.
But I mean, like, it was like,
it's interesting you bring this up.
Most people see, sorry, I just want to say this. Most people see, you got a week off of school? That's awesome. That's that spring break that you were never going to get. Now you have it. It's like, no, I basically sat in my living room all weekend just trying not to freeze.
Yeah. It was prison, bro. It was literally prison. Like, I don't understand why that was fun. But like for me, when I was thinking about this, because my family, like I have a lineage in Bangladesh, like because my parents were telling me about like how it was for them. I was like, dude, they like, this is literally Bangladesh, but like worse, right? So like when I went there like 10, 15 years, about 10 years ago, like they have power outages. So it's like, it happened like once every 2 to 3 hours for like an hour or like an hour and a half, right? Like that was just like commonplace thing. So like my family in Bangladesh have like generators, so they have light and like refrigeration power, but you can't like do anything else. So it'd be super frustrating when you're like watching a TV show and it's like, a really good scene and that boom, power's out. It's like, oh my God, dang it.
Man.
And then not only that, or at least, I don't know now. I think things have changed rapidly. They've like become very like up there or like they've like their infrastructure's increased over time and they're developing greater. But when I was there, they also had no running hot water. It was all running cold water.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, the faucets were just cold water. And this is like a hot.
Did they
place,
have
too.
walking hot water?
I don't know what that means. Was that a joke? I have no clue.
Okay.
No, because you said
I'm
running
sorry it went
hot
over your
water.
head.
It didn't land. Okay. Anyway, so
Yeah, it didn't really. Sorry, Daniel.
Dang it.
so like if you wanted hot water in Bangladesh, basically like you would just get a bucket of water and like heat it like with a coil or whatever, and then you just like douse yourself in it over like slowly.
Yeah.
And then I was just
Um,
like, dude, this is literally like what my parents is going through. It's like this is literally like a third world country. It's like, are you serious right now? It's so frustrating. It's like,
Not
why do
having
I like,
reliable power
why do we
or
pay
internet or anything?
why do we
Yeah.
pay for electricity if the electricity isn't going to work when we need it to? Like, why do we
Yeah.
pay like when like why are we pay a water bill when they just cut off our water when we need it the most? It's like that's criminal.
Because
That's
because
so
the government
criminal.
is
Because
corrupt.
capitalism.
Because the
Yeah.
Texas state government is corrupt.
Yeah, but that was
And because
so
capitalism is inherently corrupt and unethical.
that's truly criminal though that they like could just shut off water.
Yeah.
Because like oh like it's like oh like we're running low so just shut it off, just shut it
Mhm.
off. It's like that's criminal.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like,
Didn't
really
people?
sad.
I feel like people have died.
people
not
have
just
died.
People have.
Yeah,
People
just
have died.
from not being
Like,
not,
10 people
not having
died, I think?
water or from cold or from
Dying of hypothermia in their
Yeah.
own homes. Like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
ridiculous.
I'm surprised it
Yeah.
wasn't more wide scale, honestly, because I mean, I was shocked at how cold it got inside our house. Slightly unrelated. So on the opposite end, Monday morning, Luke and I woke up. Well, okay, I woke up. I was sweating. I was like, "Oh my god, I must have a fever. This is not good."
This
Am I
Monday morning,
sick?"
not. It was this Monday morning.
Yes, this
not,
Monday morning, not the Monday of the
not during the
snowstorm.
storm. Yes.
I woke up and I was like, "Oh my god, I am sweating. Do I have a fever? Am I sick? Do I have COVID?" And then I'm just sitting there panicking, and Luke like wakes up and he's like, "Is it hot in here to you?" And I'm like, "Thank God, it is so hot in here." I go over to the AC. It is 84 degrees and climbing in our room. That is the hottest I've ever seen it inside. So the coldest I've ever seen it inside a room was a week earlier, and then the hottest I'd ever seen it in the room was, Monday, and it was like ridiculously hot. Our AC wasn't working because the HVAC in the Bruce
Our
Hall,
building,
I
our
should
dorm
have said
hall.
that. I'll cut it
That's
out.
weird for
I'll
me
cut
too.
that
It
out.
was
shouldn't
pretty
have.
hot.
Yeah,
the
it
past
was.
couple
It
days
was.
for
Yeah,
us,
it was
too.
just like it wasn't working, so I had to turn it off.
They're
and then
overcompensating.
it fixed
Okay,
it.
so CBS News says the winter storm killed at least 11.
Yeah, it's
In
just
See,
sad.
Texas.
that seems like low
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah, and then like looking at like Austin and stuff like these, or just like grocery stores, seeing lines out of the building, people just waiting, and it's just like saying like we're in a capitalist society, like, and we are literally seeing what people were worried about with socialism in a capitalist society.
Yeah.
It's
like,
always
dude,
it's
like-
it's the meme where it's like they take a picture of this is what socialism looks like, and then it's a picture of capitalism. Like,
Or like, or have you
What the
seen
heck?
have you seen the photo of have you seen the picture of like it's like a really pretty beach and there's like this is what it's like under capitalism, and then it's a really like crappy like slums. This is what it's like under socialism, and then a reply. So someone in the comments says the picture of the beach is from Cuba and the bottom picture is Detroit.
Yeah.
dude, it's just
yeah,
so
that's
annoying.
exactly it. Yeah.
And at
Yeah.
least now we don't have to hear about like people being like, oh my god, like, see, like this is like how like these red states are so much better ran than these blue states, California,
Mhm.
yada yada. Because like remember that was like the one thing that Republicans were like, see, like at least you guys are coming to our states, like because you guys are tired of the way liberals run our states or run your states. It's like nah, bro, like, y'all are pretty bad too, if not worse. Like come on. Also, Joe Rogan annoys me now. I don't know why. It's just like he's completely annoyed me. I like went full 180 on him.
No,
'Cause
me
I liked
too.
him a lot.
I didn't like him originally, but I tolerated him because he seemed like somebody that was genuinely like willing to hear both sides. And now he's become he's trying to fill a semi-conservative role. Like he's trying to be like the guy in the middle who takes the conservative side. You know what I mean?
He's trying to be like a Sam, or not Sam. He's trying to be like a Dave Rubin, but like I guess smarter, which is not really hard to do if you've seen Dave Rubin. So
It's
So-
just I hate every take he has on everything somehow. Like
he just
recently
uses
Joe
like
Rogan.
the smallest amount of common sense, and it's like the guest is just not as smart either. So they're just like, yeah, right. It's like, no, dude. It's like, you just
It-
think about it for
yeah.
more than a second, or if someone was there just to tell you why that is wrong,
Yeah.
and you'd be like, oh, okay,
Mhm.
right? It's like he doesn't do that now. Maybe it's because he can't
Yeah.
find like any of like the similar guests he'd find in LA. You know,
Mhm.
like maybe like I don't know. It's just like super
Mm.
annoying because like when he was talking with like some I forgot who was it, Tim Dillon? Is that his name? He
I don't know.
they were talking about like I guess because Ted Cruz, the whole Cancun incident, effectively.
Oh,
I'm
I saw
gonna
this.
summarize it. We're not. I'm gonna try not. Let's try our best not to get political.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm just gonna talk
It's
about
too
it.
late at
I
this
think
point.
it's too late. We've been talking about socialism.
We've already
Okay.
see, Naimur. We've already condemned capitalism. There's no point in trying
Yeah.
to stop it.
But anyways, we
Yeah,
won't go
yeah.
into this for too long. We'll be
Any
very
tangent.
brief.
Yes.
Effectively, Ted Cruz. Wow, people have no water, have no power,
What?
all this stuff.
If
Goes
you'll,
to
if you'll
Cancun
excuse
with his
my
family.
language, if you'll excuse my language here, what a piece of s.
Yes, he's a terrible
Piece of
person.
S. Thank you, Luke. Piece of S.
Well, it's like I think slowly a lot of people on the right are slowly understanding how terrible a person he is too in Texas.
Yeah, I really
So-
hope so.
So that's good, I guess. That's a benefit.
Mhm.
But he'll still probably win re-election if he goes for the Senate again. Who knows? Anyway,
Probably.
Alright,
Actually.
anyway, we'll see.
Probably right.
so effectively he goes to Cancun with his like family and neighbors while it's snowing, and like people have no power, people don't have water. Like everybody in Texas is struggling, right? And then Joe Rogan's out here because like he basically got bullied into coming back, and he basically lied, told this really half-assed story where he was just like, yeah, my daughters like they had a week off from school and they just like wanted to go on vacation, so I took them. I'm gonna blame my like 10-year-old daughters because I can't take responsibility for anything. And then effectively it was a lie because apparently like there was like leaked texts from his wife talking to their like neighbors being like, let's go, whatever. Like, it'll be
Mhm.
fun.
And didn't he invite his like ex roommate or something, his ex college roommate?
No idea, but I don't know about that. But yeah.
That's what I had heard.
Anyway, so Joe
What did
Rogan,
yeah. I wanna
after
hear Joe
hearing
Rogan's
him come back, he's like, what could he do? Like, is he gonna go to these lines and like, warm these people up with blankets and stuff? So what can he do? Like,
I mean,
what is the point?
yeah.
It's like I
Yeah,
guess
like,
it's the optics.
people can
Like, what
complain,
he
but
do?
like, what
didn't
could he
AOC
do? Yeah, this
didn't
is the- that's-
AOC raise like
Yes.
$5 or $6 million for,
Yeah.
for relief in
5
Texas?
million. I saw 5
And
million.
she's a representative from New York.
Beto O'Rourke, who
So that
lost.
look, that's the
better.
argument people had immediately. They're like, yeah, sure, maybe he couldn't have done much, but he's the
done
senator
anything.
from Texas, so
Yeah.
you'd think he could do anything better than running away. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, it's like he's literally
Honestly-
in his ivory tower. It's like so disgusting. And then it's like
Honestly,
on top of that,
yeah,
and then it's
Go
like
ahead.
not only that with Joe Rogan, it's the hypocrisy too now because he like
Mhm.
because he talks about how much he hates California, and he was talking about how much like he's like like Gavin Newsom, the photos of him like like going to the restaurant, no mask, nothing, by himself with all of his friends, after hours while it's
Mhm.
closed, and like Nancy Pelosi going to like a nail salon with no mask on, and like the
Right.
cameras like show when it's closed because she paid them. It's like like she should be knowing better. She should like stick to the rules. Like what is she doing, right? It's like it's literally the same thing. Then it's like what could she do, if you're gonna go with that logic.
yeah.
Like
Mhm.
it's just so I don't know if this is an act that he's just doing, or if this is just genuinely how he thinks. I genuinely don't know anymore, and it just gets so frustrating now.
I think a lot of Republican talk show hosts are.
But he's not even
doing-
Republican. He's a Bernie
I know,
supporter.
okay.
Like it makes no
So
sense.
I know
to me.
it is very weird. That's why. But I think a lot of these people who take these like somewhat conservative sides are doing it because there's an audience for it. If you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying.
I guess
There's
so, yeah.
Quite
That's
a
like-
large audience for it on.
I guess so. Yeah.
Um,
Basically, he doesn't want to be a shill for the left, so he'll just make fun of the
Mhm.
left. But it's like
Yeah.
you effectively just woo the right. That's all you do.
I wanted to say two things for the record. We dislike Nancy Pelosi on this podcast. We do not like Nancy Pelosi.
Oh yeah, we also don't like
Um,
Gavin or not Gavin Newsom. I guess we don't like Gavin Newsom, right? We
I
also
know
don't
much
like.
about- Oh, he's the governor of California, right?
Yeah, he's like not that
Yeah.
great. We don't really like him. We also don't like Andrew Cuomo. Pretty not
Yes.
good dude.
Frick Andrew Cuomo. His brother though is pretty cool. He's
The
okay.
Porter?
Chris Cuomo. Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty chill.
But we
But-
do
Fine.
simp
Okay,
for
anyway.
Pete Buttigieg,
No,
transportation
not even that.
secretary,
Not even that.
Neo-libs be like.
secretary of transportation.
Neoliberalism is just
Um,
whatever I hate. So right, isn't that like the?
I also
excuse
wanted
for
to
both people
say.
on the
I
right
also
and
wanted to
left hate it?
say. I also wanted to say. I think Ted Cruz meant to be caught. I think he wanted to be caught, like going to Cancun, because
I don't see that.
this
though.
is a very. I know this. No, listen. This is a very hot take. I think he just wants to be the next Trump, and he's trying to do that by stirring up controversy
Maybe.
and playing it off like he didn't actually care, or like
It's
playing it off
possible.
like.
But he's not going to be the next Trump because Trump will be the next Trump. Trump's going to speak
Yes,
like on.
I agree.
So
with
at the
you.
time of us recording this Friday, what's the day? 26th of February. He's supposed to speak for like some CPAC event. I don't know what CPAC is.
It's
He's going
actually
to speak out for the first time
Saturday.
since.
I have
Yeah.
something to say
Yes,
about
it's
CPAC
Saturday.
here in a second.
It's going to be the
Mhm.
first time he's spoken since basically the people invaded the Capitol building. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
that'll be the first time he spoke.
Supposedly he's
probably
going
the
to
first time
announce that
since,
he's running in 2024, right?
Why would you announce that so early? You're going to just waste so much money early on. Just wait till like 2 years in.
Well, he's
at
not
least.
actually going to start marketing or anything. He's just saying,
Yeah,
I am
he
going
is
to be
though.
doing.
No, he will, and then he'll just steal all their money.
Yeah, that's how he's going to do it because he's probably in
That's-
debt.
yeah.
And he's going to get arrested. Or at least convicted. of
Yeah,
something.
because the
'Cause of the tax.
Attorney General of New York has all his tax returns, right?
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah, so. Okay, anyway,
Apologies,
that's enough
Daniel.
of politics.
I wanted to say one thing about CPAC. Did you guys see how
Oh my
they,
gosh.
a bunch of conservative Christians are literally worshiping a golden Trump idol that they brought into the CPAC? Like,
That reminds me of the
I don't
biblical
think they
story
see the
called the golden
irony.
calf, or the golden cow.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
the golden
oh my God.
calf, whatever. it
The
is.
golden something
cow
where-
idol.
Yeah.
In Christianity,
Yeah.
is it like
it's
is
literally
it a sin
Luke, it is
to worship
literally
idols?
the most ironic
Yes.
thing I've seen yet.
Well,
Is it a sin to worship
Naimur,
idols?
it's
in
not. It's
Christianity?
not a sin to
it
worship
is one of the
idols
10
per se.
commandments.
Like you're not allowed
it's
to.
A sin it's a sin to worship false idols.
It's a sin to worship
So
false
if
idols or other gods.
this is a very big set of controversy in Christianity, because this is one of the reasons. This is the reason for the Great Schism that basically broke up Catholicism and Eastern Orthodoxy. But anyway,
There's some history for you guys.
certain sects of Christianity believe that saints, for example, aren't false idols, even though they are idols. They don't believe that they're false idols because they're sent by God, or because they're ordained by God to do these things, which makes them not false.
Donald Trump.
Catholics
Sent by God.
specifically,
Sent by God.
Catholics specifically think that the Virgin Mary, for example, isn't a false idol because she was chosen by God.
I guess. I can.
I can see
and
that,
Other
yeah.
branches
I
feel
think-
differently.
I want to add to that, Luke, like just to bring in some history rather than get political. I think that's the other reason you have iconoclasts over the period of history, where it's people who are okay with having like symbols for their beliefs, like a painting
Yeah.
of Jesus.
I know what an
or a
iconoclast
painting
is,
of
'cause I'm
this,
smart.
or a symbol of a cross.
But why don't you explain it to everybody else what
Okay.
an iconoclast
Yeah,
is?
it's people who go around destroying these icons, idols, pieces of art or symbols that represent things in religion, right? So maybe murals.
Naimur, that's
or
Daniel, that's
paintings
actually called
or-
iconoclasm. That's called iconoclasm.
The act
Yes,
of
iconoclast are the people who do that, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
'cause
I think
I
that's
think-
the other reason. It's
yes.
the people who are like, well, that symbol of Jesus on the cross, that statue of Jesus on the cross is actually a false idol because it's not the real Jesus. So like, there's people who get really hyper focused on that.
Yeah.
Korean Jesus though.
Yeah.
Valid in every country.
Fact.
You ever seen buff Korean Jesus?
Bro, he's valid. He's valid. He's
From
valid.
like 22 Jump Street, whatever. Anyway, all right. So
Let's
I guess
talk about
that
something
wraps up
else.
our political portion. So
Yes.
yeah, it was a pretty tough week, but I mean, this week there's been some pretty fun things that happened. So they announced the new Spider-Man Far From Home, or not Far From, the new Spider-Man title.
The new Spider-Man Far From Home.
Honestly, I hate it. I hate the new
Oh.
Spider-Man title.
No Way Home. It's called Spider-Man No Way Home. For those of you that
Yes,
do not
it's
know.
kind of trash. It's kind of trash.
I thought
I think Home
Homeless
Run.
would have been
Honestly,
funny.
Homeless.
Homeless would have been
Homeless
pretty
would have
funny.
been funny. I think Home
Yeah,
Run
no,
also
see,
made sense because he's on
Spider-Man
the run.
Homeless. Yeah,
go ahead.
It would. Either of those would have been much better and much less wordy and much less like, just stupid. You know.
No, I think No Way Home would be like kind of makes sense because it's like spoilers for Far From Home. But when he like at the post credit scene when he gets revealed that it's Peter Parker, the Spider-Man, and J. Jonah Jameson is back, and he's wanted because he's like apparently killed everybody, or he's responsible for what Mysterio did. Effectively, the issue or it's like the idea is he can't go back home because everybody knows who he is. Everybody knows like
Right.
you're gonna look for Aunt May, so he can't go back. He's
Mhm.
effectively on the run. So like
Yeah.
I would have like I know they're trying to do the whole home thing for the trilogy, but like I would have liked like Spider-Man Most Wanted or something like that, or like
Yeah.
stuff something like that. Like
Just
that'd be cool.
Spider-Man Homeless. Homeless would have been infinitely better than No Way Home.
Again,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
I'm
fine.
I'm a supporter of Home Run
I'm heated about this.
because isn't it the
I'm a
third in a
supporter
trilogy? Isn't it the
Of
third in a
Sweet
trilogy?
Home. Yeah, I'm
Sweet then-
Home
and then even
Alabama.
Even with Home Run, you would have got the idiot baseball fans.
Yeah. And it's also
I'm sorry,
like
does that
it's
count
the
as- does
final
that count
of
as
the
being
trilogy,
political?
so a home run is
idiot
like
baseball
hitting it
fans.
home.
I don't even think baseball fans are idiots. They're probably the most like. They're
No,
probably
I'm
the
just
smarter.
kidding. I'm just saying.
This is actually good that you bring
people
this
who are
up.
fans of baseball are
Why?
idiots.
Why would you think baseball fans are smarter? Baseball's just an American.
Because it's a much
sport.
more statistically heavy game than like football. I feel like they're a lot less meathead driven. Because like people talk about like ERA averages. Because like all these statistics they talk about are just like statistics. They're not like just like outright numbers, right? Like in
Yeah.
football, you just talk about like so and so had like a bajillion touchdowns this season, whereas the other one had
Yeah, like
10
yardage
touchdowns.
and
What
cup
are-
size and.
What are
and,
your guys'
you know,
favorite
rushing.
sports to watch?
I
You
like
guys
football.
Did y'all? Okay, I don't think you heard it. Yeah, I like
I-
football.
I was
Um,
only listening so much.
you didn't hear
I'm
it?
Sorry.
I said football has stuff like yardage and cup size and rushing
I hate
yards.
that. I hate that.
Kind of
Um,
landed. but
I
not
like
that great.
baseball,
Yes.
but
It
I think
landed
it's
if you-
too long.
yeah.
I think baseball needs to be 5 innings, not 9.
See, I don't know
Or
Baseball
anything.
is just.
Baseball's
I'm
just
very
too long.
confused
It's
by
the same
baseball.
after the first 5 hours. It's the same thing.
I think
I
I would
think
like
just baseball-
it. but
Or
I'm
5
just, like,
innings.
I
kinda-
think baseball is just super boring. It's super repetitive.
It's
More
That's
so
what I'm
than
saying.
like football and stuff.
It's very
Yeah.
slow.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
football, it's more so like I like football. It feels like a chess game that just happens every 5 seconds, right? So it's like, yeah, there's like 20 seconds
Mhm.
of like downtime, right? So they're just like walking and stuff, like every play. But like it just feels like like this is a chess game. Like for a lot of the
There's
times.
like multiple pieces moving, and it's like who's going.
See, I think of it more as more strategy of tactics or strategy
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
actual strategy.
Yeah, so like a
as
strategy
opposed to as opposed to
just
other
skill.
as opposed to chess specifically
or
where
basketball,
chess is more
because
like
basketball's all like real time. You know what I mean? It's just like all like
Yeah.
there's no stoppage. So I guess if you like fast paced stuff like basketball's pretty fun too. Basketball. The problem with basketball is it's just the season is too long. Like it's literally
Yeah.
it's like from November all the way to May, like the regular season, and it's
Mhm.
80. Like
Mhm.
usually it's 82 games. This time I think they're doing 70, which is still too many games. It should be like
That's
50
a
or
lot.
60. So
I
it's like
wonder-
you effectively know like by the time you're like halfway through the season or like maybe 3/4 in the season, like who's
Right.
going to be the top team, right? So
Mhm.
it's like it's not really and like nobody's really caring about that game on a Sunday in February at home against like some obscure team. Like nobody cares about that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Right, like,
Yeah.
I
Like,
I
it's
just
literally
wanna-
not fun to watch. Like the playoffs though are like probably the best out of all of them. Even better than football, I
Mhm.
would say. That's a hot take. I don't know about that, but like the playoffs in
Some
basketball
people
are
would disagree.
generally very good. I mean, football also has that thing where football is heavily luck based instead of skill based.
Yeah.
So it's like
Mhm.
it's like any given Sunday it depends, like right?
yeah,
Like even the best team could go against the worst team and lose.
yeah.
And
Right,
lose,
like,
yeah.
it's never
'Cause it's
guaranteed.
really just football. I think is more quick. Like everybody on the field has to do the right thing.
Yeah, but yeah, there's just so much up to chance that like
Yeah.
even if
Mhm.
you're just like a great team, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win that one time.
Yeah,
And
The
it's
other
like it's
team might
literally
just
all
have-
or nothing. You have that one game. If
Mhm.
you lose that game in the playoffs, you're out, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Whereas in basketball, in a series of 7 games, like per round, the best team is probably gonna get out or like win most of the time, right? Like the better team is gonna show themselves within those 7 games usually, right?
Mhm.
So it's like in the first round, it's like almost always there's no upsets, right? Like the top
Mhm.
team will never lose to the lower team in the playoffs. It's like almost always they'll either sweep them or like win in within 5 games, instead of the whole 7.
Mhm.
Right, and so it's like vice versa. But then when it gets like closer, like the teams are very parodied. It's like, ooh, this is like interesting. This is genuinely interesting.
Mhm.
It's like, what's gonna happen? Like,
Yeah.
are they gonna trade pieces, blow for blow? But yeah,
Yeah.
that was a sports.
I
tangent
think-
based after.
Well, I want to
Spider-Man
say
home run.
one. Yeah, I know. Isn't it funny? I want to say one thing about. I just want to clarify. I only watch baseball when I actually go see it in person. That is the only time.
Okay.
I wouldn't watch it.
Okay.
So when I
we
say
all
I
know
like
you're just a
baseball,
closeted baseball fan.
I just want to say I'm not closeted. I like baseball.
I like the idea of baseball. Moneyball is a very good film.
I like
I love
going
Moneyball.
to the games. I like the experience of driving
Yeah,
there,
being
finding your
at-
seat, you know, getting to like see all of the energy that's around you. Like, but other than that, yeah.
Oh yeah,
I thought we were talking about.
I went to a baseball
I thought
game.
we were talking about like.
What were you gonna say, Luke?
Go ahead,
Let Luke
Naimur.
finish.
No, you
No,
go ahead.
Luke's
Luke.
gonna. Naimer's gonna change the
Okay.
topic.
I
No,
thought we were
it
talking
has to
about-
do with baseball. But we go ahead.
I thought we were talking about watching it on TV, not going
no.
there.
No, yes, we
went to-
were, and that's why I wanted to go back to be like, oh, well, the reason
Oh,
I
okay.
was thinking
Alright.
baseball was because I like to watch.
So
it.
one time I went to
One-
a baseball game, I got left and almost got like lost.
Oh my
myself.
God.
My brother took me and like you know, like on the ride home. So like we went to the car, right? He goes in, starts the car. I'm trying to open the door. Door's locked. I'm like, hey, yo, door's locked. He starts driving. I'm like, yo, and he continues driving, and I was just like, I start chasing after it, and he's about to get on the highway. I'm like, yeah, like what? I'm like, you know, like 11 at the time, or like 10 at the time. I'm like, oh my god, this is me now. Don't have a phone because I'm 11. Like I'm just like, I'm gonna be gone for life. Like, this is my life now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like one of those kids at the at the you know, like the Yankee games. They're just hiding or whatever. No, I'm kidding. And then like he like as soon as like he was about to enter, he stopped, and then he backed back. And he's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I almost left you." And it's because like the
That's
reason why
hilarious.
he realized I was gone was he was like, "Hey, yo, can you send the thank you text to the person that gave us tickets?" He's like, and he looks back and I'm not there. He's like, "Oh my god."
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Now
So
was this Naimur?
Oh
Was
my
this
God.
at the Was it at the MLB stadium?
Yeah,
Or was it at the other smaller stadium nearby us?
MLB.
Okay, all right. So the big boy. Yeah.
Big
Okay.
boys.
Was that
Big leagues.
before they made the new one, or
Yeah, I think so.
yeah?
It was
Okay.
before they made the new one. Because this is like 4th grade, 5th grade.
yeah.
So like 2012, somewhere around there.
Yeah, that's fair. Dude, I go to. It's not really a. It's a really big NFL stadium in Texas. So guess which one it is.
Are you talking
Out
about
of-
AT&T?
Yes, I'm talking about AT&T Stadium.
What about it?
Going to that town, and I do that regularly.
Dallas?
No, I mean the town specifically that it's in.
Oh, Arlington. That's common knowledge.
Yes.
You don't have to be like...
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying I go there regularly. It is such an imposing building. It's huge. You
Oh,
can
yeah,
see it from
it's
every
like-
corner of the city.
I remember...
Like, it's...
Yeah, it's just like,
Yes.
it's not fun at all. Or like, what happened? I think me and Daniel once in middle school, for our jazz band, we went to TCU, like Texas Christian University, which is in Fort Worth. And like on the way or something, or like on the way back, we got lunch at like a CC's Pizza. And it's like one of the CC's Pizzas that are like outside of AT&T Stadium. It's like you can't even see the full thing. It's like so far away.
I know,
It's like, it looks...
so
It
big.
literally looks like I don't even know how to describe it. It like looks like it's like a work of art. Like, it's so weird
Yeah.
how it looks.
It's so big. I've only
Yeah.
been inside of it a couple times. The one actual season Cowboys game I went to a preseason one a few years ago, but the one like actual season, regular season Cowboys game I went to was really fun because I got to go into one of the executive boxes, like one of the executive suites.
Was that the one where Tony
Because-
Romo got injured? Better not have been. I was going to be mad at you.
Which one? Which one that Tony Romo got injured?
His final injury until he retired?
No, this was in like 4th or 5th grade.
Okay.
It was. I remember it was a versus the Washington football team.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
you know they're not going to...
Yeah.
You know they're not even going to change their name this season?
Team.
They're,
Yeah,
no,
they're
that's
not
what
gonna
they're
have a
called.
name. Yeah.
No, like they're continuing it. They're like...
I just
They like they
Oh, they're
announced
just
they were
gonna
like...
be
his
called
emphasis
Washington?
on
That's
on
so funny.
the lack
No,
of a
they're
word.
calling
in
it the
between there.
Washington football team. So it's like, so they're like, yeah, like name change happening in 2022. I'm like, bro, how hard is it to change a name? I don't understand. Why is it taking this 2 seasons to do?
I feel like it's all the branding stuff as well.
Yeah, but it's like if
I
you
think
already
that's a big
like,
part of it.
how hard is it just to spend a weekend in like a boardroom just coming up with names?
Yeah.
and then just like
Fair.
getting logos out. Like,
then committing
loved-
to one, and then
Yeah.
making it that.
I feel
I
like
love
that's
the,
like the
um,
easiest thing to do.
I loved all the jokes about like, why is it stirring up so much controversy? Just change it to the DC Redskins.
Yeah. That is fun.
I mean, there's people that thought it should just be called the Skins, which I don't know.
That's arguably worse. Unless they made it like
No, because their
potato skin.
nickname it used to be the Skins. You know, I never thought about this, but the Washington football team and the Cowboys, they're rivals. They've been rivals since like they were like in the league. It's weird. Like I was talking this with my roommate. He's talking like they're get it. It's Cowboys and Indians.
Oh,
isn't that crazy?
I didn't even
never
know
thought
that.
about that.
I literally never thought
That's
about
actually
that.
pretty cool.
Yeah. Also, by Indians, I mean Native Americans. I'm just saying the genre that was back then called that.
The common catchphrase that has been used for a long time.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not
Let's
saying
talk
it's a
about
great
something
catchphrase,
else.
it's like-
I'm
Yeah, let's talk
tired
about
of
something
sports.
Y'all like water?
Yeah. Going from
That's a
from
really strange
sports
transition.
Games,
I
we're gonna
hate
talk
that.
about. We're gonna go to video games. So Sony had their
Ooh,
PlayStation
yay.
Direct, and it was garbage. That was it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
what
What
you
was
the
on
wor-
it? What was in it?
Basically they were showing like the Final Fantasy VII remake. They're basically making like an
Mhm.
expansion for like the PS5, and that was like the
Mhm,
biggest
okay.
thing there. I mean, there were some cool games like.
That's stupid.
So Arcane Studios, the creators of Dishonored, are making another game called Deathloop. It actually looks really cool. Like the idea of it for PS5. It's like I guess you just like you're like on this loop of death, but it's like you have these
Mhm.
hits you do. So it's kind of like Dishonored in that. I don't know. It looks interesting, but I guess that was like the only showing. It was like 30 minutes long. You know the worst
Yeah.
thing? Like a press conference is bad when they're just like thank you, and then the logo pops up, and you're like, is that it? That's it? Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's it. That's happened so many times. I remember when Bethesda in 2017, like E3, they had a press conference. People were like, "Oh my god, they're gonna reveal Starfield. It's gonna be amazing. They're gonna reveal like some other thing." Like,
I did want to talk about Starfield.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll get to that. But he's like, they'll
Yeah.
reveal these things. Like, oh my god, like it's gonna be like a huge thing, right? Like that was like, I felt like it was a pretty low year, right? Like nobody was really talking about anything that year at E3. So like people were like, oh my god, Bethesda's gonna like do this, right? And then I remember it's like they showed like these just like effectively these add-ons and like mods and like upcoming games that are already out that we were gonna know about or we already knew about.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, it's like he's like talking. He's like, so you guys will love these things, blah blah blah. And then like the streamer I was watching, or I think I was watching Rooster Teeth, and like one of the people was like, oh my god, he's wrapping up. And I'm like, what? Are you serious right now? Dude,
Yeah.
that's like the worst feeling. It's like you failed when that happens. It's like
Mm-hmm.
he's
Yeah.
wrapping up. It's like, oh my god. Because I was watching Video Game Donkeys like thing of the PlayStation Direct, right? And I knew, like, I had a feeling it wasn't really gonna be anything spectacular. I was hoping like something, like maybe like God of War, like a release date potentially, or just like even like something, or like
Dude,
Horizon,
that's what I was expecting too.
a Horizon like release date, or just like a
Mhm.
demo maybe. It's supposed to come out. Both of those are supposed to come out this year. Like I don't know, right? So it's like.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, and then it literally was like, with the Final Fantasy thing, because usually they do like a wrap up, like thank you guys for tuning in, like you can get these things, and they just recap everything that happened, right? And then not only did that not happen, the way it happened was the Final Fantasy trailer happened, and then it was like that was Final Fantasy Flang, blah blah blah, thank you, and it just ended. I was like, what is that? That's it? I was so confused.
Yeah.
I was so confused. I was just like, oh my god. Yeah, so that was a PlayStation Direct. See, I hate these things.
Talk
It's like,
about Starfield though.
oh yeah, Starfield. Go ahead. Yeah, I
Yeah,
just hate.
I heard some stuff about.
Go ahead,
apparently, Microsoft's gonna have like an event in March.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be surprised if nothing important happens because this is what they do. It's
Yeah.
like Nintendo Direct, the one that happened a couple weeks ago. I was getting so hyped because it was like, this is the first time they've had one since like 2019. Like, oh my god, like what can they show, right? They really didn't show that
Mhm.
much.
Yeah.
like-
Everyone thought they were gonna do Breath of the Wild stuff, right?
Yeah.
At least
and
Breath of the
people were
Wild 2, like a
disappointed that it
release
didn't.
date, bro.
Yeah.
It's been
Yeah.
4 years since the first one came out. Like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch, but when I get one, I will be playing Breath of the Wild eventually. So,
If I get one. If you get one.
Stimmy, Joe Biden, where's my Stimmy? I want my Stimmy to get my Switch. Hashtag Stimmy or Switch for Stimmy.
No, Stimmy for
Anyway.
Switch.
Stimmy for Switch. Yeah.
Fridge.
Okay. Anyway,
You
yeah.
better
Okay,
be
what did you
very
want to say about
careful, Luke.
Starfield?
Those
Luke?
could both turn into very bad words. I'm just.
Yeah, so recently Bethesda put out, I don't know if y'all saw it. I told Daniel about it, but this raffle that basically if you put in the top bid, you get to make a character in Starfield. And Daniel's camera is glitching. And like just the day before this, two very credible, as credible as a leaker can be, two credible leakers came out and said that Bethesda is about to basically announce a release date for Starfield. And that's quite interesting to me.
I hope.
I hope so too.
That's not good enough. I need a demo. It's been 4 years.
Yes,
it's been
I
3
agree.
years since I've seen the announcement where you literally just had like an animation and then Starfield. I need more. I want to see a demo. I want to see what this game is. I want to see what it's about.
Yeah.
I want to see any semblance of a story. I'm tired of this. Bethesda,
We've talked about this. We're tired of the
I'm tired of you,
don't
Bethesda.
show anything,
You've made
don't show anything, don't show
you've
anything.
made
Show us just a little
really
bit release
bad.
date.
Yeah, you've made really bad quality games, and you're on a very low streak.
You're
in
on
recent memory.
Bethesda. You're on thin ice.
They're not even on thin ice, but like they're close to being on thin ice. It's like it's just
Yeah.
please. Like, I'm tired of this, bro. Like
Yeah.
Microsoft better save you, I swear, because
Yeah.
like I'm tired of this. Because I actually have somewhat of a respect for Microsoft, even though they do things that are questionable with Xbox sometimes. Right? It's like they were on like a really good streak until they were like, "Yo, we're doubling the price of gold, baby."
Yeah.
It's like, why would you?
And
do
then
that?
everyone was like, no.
And then they're like, "Okay, we're not. Never mind."
Yeah, dude, that is honestly the funniest
kidding.
thing I've seen recently, where it was like, okay, guys, because, inflation, we're doubling the price for a gold membership. And everyone was like, then I won't get gold. And then they're like, guys, we were just kidding. We're not going to do that. Like, that would be
Just
so
kidding.
silly. Obviously, we
Dude,
were
the
doing
camera's
that.
over there. The camera's
Oh my
over
God.
there.
Dude, it's so funny to think that they literally didn't ask anyone. Like, they didn't, pitch, oh, how much should we start
At
charging
least they didn't
for
stick
the
to their
new...
guns. Because honestly, if they
Yeah.
had stuck to their guns, it probably people would have
Would
complained
have been much
initially,
worse.
but nobody would have. No, I don't think anybody would have cared. They would just dealt with it, just paid for it, or just got an ultimate. You know what I mean?
I think enough people would have paid for it to make up for or even account for more than the people who would have dropped off.
Yeah, I generally don't
fair.
think people because that's what Sony does, right? They just do things, and then they're just like deal with it, and they're like, and people are like, okay,
Mm.
they're like, we're gonna make $70 games for our PS5. It's like, I don't like that. It's like, too bad. Okay, Sony's amazing. I love you,
Can't
Sony.
change my mind. Couldn't be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then they're like,
Sony
look how bad Microsoft is. They're gonna increase your price on your gold. Sony would never. It's like, bro, Sony literally started charging for their multiplayer because Microsoft did it. Like, don't even at me. Like, shut
Yeah.
up. I hate people that just don't know what they're talking about in general, but with games especially. It's
Republican.
like-
Also, the console wars is so stupid at this point.
Yeah.
It's so stupid because everybody
They're both
knows
great.
the Nintendo Switch is the master hardware. of all.
Everybody knows the Wii U is the top tier console.
No, it's obviously Stadia.
No, it's the Ouya. No, the
I like how we
Ouya.
keep coming up with worse and worse. Like, we're just trying to think of the... Man. I love that.
Everybody knows it's the Oculus Rift. That's the master hardware. So.
Well, okay, that's coming back in 20 years and it will be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Well,
VR.
I
Not
did
the
see.
Oculus Rift.
I did
the
see these
VR.
two very interesting videos. I think they were by this dude called Nerrel, Nerrel. He basically was talking about controllers. So he's talking about the Steam controller. So if you guys don't know, Valve in 2012 made their own controller because they were effectively trying to make the PC into a console market or suitable for console players with Steam Big Picture mode, which is basically an operating system that effectively worked like a console. Like if you could just hook up your PC to a TV, have the Steam Big Picture mode, and then it's it's like an interface that works well with the controller and with the mouse and keyboard, so you can just sit on the couch and play, right? So they made this controller, and it was very interesting. You should look up a picture, both of you guys, but effectively there's no joysticks. It's just touch sensitive pads for both joysticks, okay? And there's there is one joystick, but it's not meant for that. And it's touch sensitive haptic feedback pads. And it has gyroscopic aiming stuff, so basically the controller, if you move the controller, you can use it to aim. And then I forgot what else. But yeah, so effectively had those things. It was so interesting to me because I remember when it came out, and now it's everybody's it's just a past thing. I don't even think they sell it anymore because that's how much of a failure it was.
Yeah, I'm really
It's
not
just
a
these
big
flat
fan of that.
discs. That's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, discontinued in 2019.
exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah.
but then there's some cool things about that. I was just thinking about how fundamentally flawed video game controllers are. It's for those of you that have never seen anything regarding game development for first person shooters especially, I remember there was this video of 343 Industry Studios doing like talking about like Halo 5, like some things about like making it. They're talking about how like so with like in a FPS like Halo, because the controller is really hard to control with, they actually give you leeway. So the way they do it is, if you're like close to a target, your bullets, like let's say you're shooting, right? Let's just say you're just shooting, and then you start moving the controller slowly towards a person, right? Even if you're not necessarily, even though technically your trajectory should be going in like the rate of which you're moving, the bullets actually bend towards the person, right? So they start bending, and they actually might hit the person even though they're not like next to him, like the reticule's not on it, right? So it just bends, and so it's effectively just like just helping.
It's
you.
aim
It's
assist.
like, aim assist, yeah. And then not only that is like when you hold the scope down, it automatically puts you on a person, right? Because you just can't put the scope on then aim at somebody. And then not only that, it's like when the reticle touches a person, it like snaps to him, right? Like it's some light snap. So it's it's like you feel it, like. And I'm just like, oh my god, it's like this is just leeway that we're doing, just to appease like controllers, right? Like to help controllers. And so like, and he was talking about how like, in the second video I watched had to do with like the Wii controller, and it was just like cool that games that used them, like how it worked, right? Especially first-person shooters. But like people were like, that's a casual thing. Like I don't want that. I want a controller, like a man, or like a gamer, as it was. And so it's like, I don't know. It's unfortunate because I really. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say what you're getting at is the reason they had to do that, where they're like helping you with all of this aiming and stuff, is because controller like sensitivity and control of the actual like character's movement is so just like precise and minute, and the controller doesn't really assist in like
and the radius of the controller is so small, like the turning of the analog sticks are so small that just doesn't make sense. Like it's like an inch like radius, not even, it's like half an inch, maybe like 10 centimeters of it. Actually, that might be too much. I don't know how much. I don't know distance, but it's really small. So it's like like maybe like half an inch radius, and it's like you have to move literally like feet.
Yeah, if you move, if you're like trying to move like half a degree, and you barely just move your like joystick, it like turns you like it could turn you like 15, 20 degrees, and you're like, well, now I'm not even like, So it's I don't know.
So then with like Wii gaming, it's like games were so easy, like first-person shooters that were like. Like ported to it and stuff like that. It made games too easy. So they were like, oh my god, like. But I don't even think that's an issue. I just think that's like it's cool. It's like it feels cool that you are actually controlling it. I think like in order for games to really succeed, the barrier from controller to game needs to be almost like non-existent to a certain point. So VR is slowly working on that. But I also think it's like the idea of it is just like it just feels so backwards to me, right? Like especially like in the pro gaming scene. Like even the simple things like gyroscopic aiming, which is effectively like my PlayStation 4 controller has it, right? Like I can just literally just control it, guide it, right? And it's just like a motion controller on the controller. Like that'd be so cool to use to aim stuff. It'd be much more accurate, right? But like why don't we do that?
Because people have a more intuitive and you can be much more precise with like full movements of a controller rather than small minute movements of a single little joystick.
Honestly, I much prefer the controllers to keyboard and mouse because I think it's much less. It's much more simplistic and less intimidating, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I guess.
Because on a keyboard, there's so much that you can do on a keyboard. Like there's so many buttons. There's so much stuff you could mess up But on a controller, there's only so many buttons. There's only so many things you can do. It's just easier to understand on a controller than on a keyboard.
Yeah, but you're also the weird dude that uses a trackpad as a mouse instead of an actual mouse. So you're a little different. You're special.
That's
true.
You
play Minecraft.
You literally, by the way, for
people,
since this isn't a visual podcast, Naimur said you're the guy that uses the trackpad, and Luke just shrugged, just silently just.
Yeah, he plays Minecraft with a trackpad. What kind of dude is this?
One other thing about keyboard and mouse, I find that, or I've heard that, because I don't know specifically, but I've heard if you have a PC with good processing power, you get like 60 FPS, whatever. If you use a keyboard and mouse, the speed at which the keyboard and mouse moves neglects the high frame rate and the good graphics. It just kind of downplays it because the game has to process for you turning your head or turning the character's head so fast. because you
Maybe.
have a keyboard and mouse.
Just go on high sensitivity, baby, and all will be fixed. Where you just move the
Go on
you
high
move,
sensitivity.
yeah, just move the controller
No,
move
but
the
he's
mouse
saying
an
he's
inch,
saying moving so
and just
fast
woof.
causes the frames to look
Yeah.
blurry, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's until you get a 144 hertz monitor, and it completely fixes everything. So
Which costs $15,000 each.
no, it doesn't. You can get a 144 hertz
Namer,
monitor.
I'm kidding.
for cheap.
I'm joking.
He was
I'm
exaggerating.
joking.
Oh yeah.
I think there's
I'm
too much
sorry.
gamey talk.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Yeah. 'cause we're
So
nerds.
we're gonna drift back to entertainment though. So we were talking about Spider-Man. So that was cool. Another interesting news. So the creators of the Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra they are teaming up with Nick, and they're making an Avatar Studios. So they're literally making a studios dedicated to just stuff in the Avatar universe. And the first project they're working on is a feature-length animated film. What do you guys think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm excited.
What's really weird
I'm
though is
excited.
Netflix is still doing their live-action TV show though,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
which the creators left because they didn't like.
Yes, the
direction.
live-action TV show is gonna be terrible. Did y'all hear that they aged up Katara to 16 and aged down Sokka to 14? Most likely so that they can sexualize her.
No, I think it's because they want her to be with Zuko.
Which would imply that they're trying to sexualize her.
I guess, but like they want her to be with Zuko instead of Aang, right? So it's like, you know what I mean? Because like there was
Again, which would
And I
imply they're
give
trying to
that all
sexualize her so that
thumbs
they
up.
can have,
Don't
two
do that.
16-year-olds have
I'm
sex
joking.
instead of a 16
yeah, I
and a
shouldn't joke
12-year-old.
about that. That's
Okay.
horrible. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
look, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's not.
Yeah.
I don't even
Yeah,
know, man.
Riverdale,
Of course,
the
Netflix
show,
would do that, though.
the last,
Yeah.
the last.
We need to.
Trials and
I'm telling
Tribulations.
you, can we just watch Riverdale this weekend together?
Yeah, we
No.
can do that at some point. I got a little bit
I
easier.
want to
so
watch
maybe
it. I
tomorrow
know
night.
it's garbage. I know it's garbage. I know it is.
It is garbage.
But I want to watch
Yeah.
it still.
And then
No, you're garbage, baby.
crap, I just dropped something. Anyway, but it's like it's so weird because like Avatar's like been like completely shafted every time. It's like any creative freedom they get in the show like gets shafted by Nickelodeon or like now Netflix, like the creators. That I'm just like, why would you sign back with Nickelodeon? Because like me reading up about it, it just seems like so like bad.
Well, that's
Like like they
it's
like.
not even really true. Like they don't.
Well, part of it was like,
like-
hey, your TV show's not doing well enough. Like, we're not even gonna put it on Nick anymore. You're gonna have to put it on the website for people to watch if they actually care about the show. Like, that's what happened to Legend of Korra in the final season. Not only that,
Yeah.
it's like they didn't even like Legend of Korra to begin with because they were like, oh, like not enough girls will want to watch her, and guys surely won't want to watch a girl Avatar. So like, I don't know how we feel
That
about
is
this.
I don't
false.
think the current like TV industry promotes extremely creative and original content.
At least
Yes,
back then.
You know what I mean?
At least, yeah, with Viacom.
Even
today,
today,
really.
like you're saying, like
You say that, but
it's,
then we have,
it's
like,
too original. If anything's too original or too creative, it's like it gets put in an obscure place where very few people see it, and the stuff that people see are these, huge
I actually disagree though.
shows
I think
where they
shows
pour
have
lots of
gotten
money
even more
into
creative.
like repetitive episodes. You know what I mean?
See, I don't think that's actually happening as much as you think it is anymore. I think it's happening a lot less actually. Like,
Well, obviously, it's going to happen less.
I'm
and
saying
less
this is
over
the
time,
era of, like 2014. So like Netflix was just starting to do like the
Mhm.
original series stuff. That was like the beginning of it. So obviously Viacom and all these like TV show networks were still like staying true to their formats. And then not only that, at the end of Avatar or The Legend of Korra, right? So like there's an implied lesbian relationship, right? It's like a groundbreaking thing happening in like a kids cartoon show. But like effectively, they wanted like a kiss or like at least be in the same position where it's like a romantic.
But
position,
Nickelodeon
like-
is homophobic.
Yes.
or just more so like I guess back then it was just like we don't think kids should learn about it.
But then at the end, wasn't it confirmed that they were gay?
Yes, but that was like
Yeah, at the very end.
but they basically had to show
It
it
was
without
like the
showing
last scene
it.
of the show.
Yeah, they basically had to
Yeah.
show it without showing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was a little odd. But on
The
top,
record, though, it was confirmed gay in novels and comics after the
Oh.
fact.
now Daniel hates the show. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I can't
But,
watch it now.
No, but for
Now my
real,
dog
Daniel,
hates the show. My
you need
dog's
to
an
watch
extremely
Legends of
racist
Korra.
homophobe.
You need to watch Legend of Korra, Daniel.
Mhm.
Or it's so good. Even if you
It's
don't
really
necessarily,
good.
even if
Do
you
you
don't
think I have
necessarily watch
enough
the
of a
first show.
knowledge of
You don't
Avatar:
need to.
The Last Airbender?
I know what you're gonna say.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't.
No,
need
you
to.
really don't. It's like they just
It's
like they.
completely-
I
it's
wanna
almost
say,
a completely different
I've
show.
seen the show, bits and pieces from beginning to end, so I know the general plot. I don't know much about it though.
Well, they actually don't rely heavily on the Last Airbender.
Okay.
So Aang, like, like how Aang talks to like the past avatars like a lot. Like they effectively don't do that because of something that happens in season 2. I'm not gonna spoil it, but yeah, so they don't do that a lot.
The one thing I don't like about Legend of Korra that wasn't it's not that it wasn't a problem in Avatar: The Last Airbender, it was just less of a notable problem. But in the Legend of Korra, it seems like every season there's a new bad guy, whereas in the original series, it's like every season there's a new objective, a new goal, but the end objective is to eventually stop the war.
It's just so drawn out because every Avatar: Last Airbender season is like 20 episodes, so it's like it's like one little thing is just an entire episode. It's like. Whereas in Legend of Korra, it's like they're like 12 to 14 episodes each season. It's just like,
there's
this
less
is like
filler.
Yeah, it's like we're getting there. We're doing this. We're doing this. And it's like
another.
It takes a lot of liberties for an animated kids TV show. Like people die in Legend of Korra, dude. It's like genuinely like like wow. It's like impactful.
Oh, you just killed off a character.
I mean, I'm not gonna
literally changes the story.
I'm not gonna spoil anything in particular for Daniel, but the end of season 1, it's murder suicide bombing.
Oh yeah, technically yeah.
Not even technically, it is a murder suicide.
Season 3 is really good too. Like the dude, like the dude's motivations, the villain, it's just like it's so advanced, and it's like he's like he's an anarchist that just wants free government for all. He's just a libertarian dude, but like there's nothing wrong with that. I'm fine, but it's like,
there is something wrong with being a libertarian. For the
but he's like he was just his like motivations were genuinely like whoa, like this is so good. Like this is like genuinely like this rivals Game of Thrones level of stuff, right?
I like
some people compare the show to Game of Thrones because of how good. Like
I like when characters have like actual motives, because it's become like habit now to say, oh, the protagonist's motives are to stop evil because they're a good person at heart, and the bad guy's motives are power because he likes power.
Yeah, but the dude's like he's literally just like he's not even a bad dude. He's literally just like. He's like, like I don't want to have to like kill the Avatar, but like, like it's what's needed to create like a new world order, peace. And
so
prosperity.
Thanos.
Yes.
So
kind
Thanos.
Essentially.
Yeah, but he's trying to create like disorder.
The consequences of not snapping everyone, of not killing said person, are worse than the act of doing that.
Yeah, he's just like
in their mind. He's
like trying to rationalize with him or with her, and she's like, he's not even trying to be mean. Like he's generally just like, it's like I'm trying to like, do good here. Like I need to do good things here, and stuff like that. It's just so crazy how like, it's so. That's why I'm kind of sad that they're doing a movie though. I want them to do like an actual TV show. Like I want a future.
Well, they are doing an actual TV show, aren't they? After the movie.
I would assume, but that's like years down the
road.
No,
I thought it was definitely confirmed. I thought it was confirmed that they were doing another show after the movie.
I mean, they probably will, but it's gonna take forever. Like, I would just like to know.
That's fair.
I want to see.
It'll be at least 4 or 5 years.
I wanted to ask, what is the animation style of Legend of Korra?
The anime, I guess.
Yeah, it's the same as. It's not anime. It's like Western.
Okay.
Western anime.
Yeah.
I guess is what you call it. Same as the original series, essentially.
Yeah.
Just
but in
HD,
so it's better to watch.
Yeah.
So.
What's the
it does look better than the original
What's the
series.
frame rate?
180 hertz.
Is it faster than the original?
240 FPS.
12K.
240 FPS. Oh, could you imagine how hard that would be to animate? You're literally like
no.
That's
you know
8
you
times
could do that
animating
if you had AI.
power.
If you had really high quality AI.
Yeah, there's videos of that. And speaking of YouTube videos, and speaking of anime, which is a Japanese art style, dude, my recommendation page this week has been on fire today, or this week, with like how interested I am in the videos.
My recommendation page this week has been on fire today.
It's been so good. Like, I saw this video.
For
it basically it was like talking about how it was like the biggest robbery in Japan or something like that, or the greatest heist in Japan ever. Right. I was like, whoa. Or it was like 3 different robberies, right? So I'm gonna tell you the first one, okay? Effectively, it's about this bank in Japan, okay? What happens is, I don't remember the time period. It might have been 1980s. Okay, anyway, it's this bank in Japan. Okay, what happens is the manager of this bank, he effectively gets this letter at his house saying that his house is gonna blow up if he does not give 300 million yen, which is I don't know the math. That's like $15 million.
$20.
I don't know, something like that.
20 US dollars.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to blow up your house if you do not give me, like, what do you call it, 300 million yen in like a certain date or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mhm.
so he's on edge, and like, he like notifies the police, right? The police keep an eye on the house, but like it's like, they're still worried, and the bank manager's still worried and stuff. He tells the workers about this stuff, and they're like worried too, right? And so what happens is like, it's like I don't know if he still gets threats, but like it's like this like level of like scaredness because they're like preparing and making sure like everything's okay, and so like one day like a group of employees go like in a car with a drop box of like money. They're going to a company to go pay them for like their payroll. Basically, go give this company their payroll, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and on the way there, they're in a car. They go through a way of a prison, right? And so what happens is this police officer stops them, and they're like, he's like, hey, stop! Like, we just heard that the officer, or what do you call? We just heard that the bank manager's house got blown up, and there's people that are presumably dead. And like some people that are injured like heavily, and they're like, "Oh my god!" It's like, "Yes, we need and we've heard there's threats about you guys. Like, step aside, whatever. Like, step aside, please.
Right.
Like, I have to check, right?" And so what happens
I already
is
know where this is headed. Yes,
he's like looking through the car and stuff, right? And then the car starts smoking, and then he's like, "Everybody, get back, right?" And then so like they get back, they look away, and then they wait like a minute, and they look behind, car's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And then they call they call like they call the bank on the phone. It's the manager that answers. He's like, "Hello?" And he's like, they're like, "Yeah, is everything okay? I heard something happened to your house." He's like, "No, the house is fine. Everything's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing happened." They're like,
Mhm.
"Oh my god!" And it was like the
Yeah.
police officer, or like the
Yeah.
presumed, like the fake
Mhm.
police officer, took the money and just dipped.
Right.
And guess how much money was in there? 300 million yen.
$30.
That's crazy. Then there was another one in that video.
You know what's
There's-
sorry? I just want to say something that's so genius about that is it. He planted it in the mind of the bank manager, knowing that it would spread like wildfire and become a rumor, and then he could use that rumor against people's senses. That's what makes
I
that
know,
so
dude.
brilliant. That is
And
pretty
nobody
clever.
got hurt
Dude,
at all.
is
And
there-
Oh yeah,
there
the
has to be a
smoking
movie
and stuff.
about that.
He put a flare underneath the car. That's why I made that noise. Or that's why I made that
of
smoke.
course. Can
That's
it's-
crazy.
has
I'm gonna
nobody?
look
I
for
bet
this
somebody's made it.
channel.
Somebody's probably made a movie about that. Like, there's no way. Like, all these really cool stories. They always have movies already made about.
Potentially. And then there's another one, right?
Mhm.
It basically talks about how in the 1940s, right? So post-war Japan, there's this huge bank, right?
Which war?
The war. No, I'm just kidding. But like,
I can't believe he
the
just asked that.
Sino-Japanese War?
yeah. But I'm trying to look for the video too. But what happens is, a dude with like, he looks like a medical inspector, has like this medical badge around his arm, or like
Mhm.
this medical band around his arm. It's like a yellow band. That's like, he looks professional. He's like, "Everybody, stop! Like, we've just been told there's a flu or there's a pandemic outbreak.
Mhm.
Like, everybody must get vaccinated, like
Very
now,
topical.
right?" And this is the 1940s, and so this stuff would happen a lot apparently, like, because it's like, they're like, he's a health inspector.
Outbreaks.
right,
Yeah,
and
there's lots of
Outbreak,
Mhm.
post-war Japan, like all this stuff is happening. Like they had, like it wasn't
The
something that they
bombs.
questioned, right? Because like he also looked official. Like this is something that would relatively happen, and so what happens is he basically gives inoculations to everybody, right? So he's like giving like inoculation, like he like has a needle to each person, right? Everybody in the bank. Then slowly, one person falls, another person falls,
No way.
second person falls, everybody falls. Bank, everybody's like just asleep,
That's
incapacitated.
crazy.
And he
Mhm.
just takes the money, dips.
Holy.
And that's it,
insane.
right? And he leaves a business card. And the crazy thing is, it's of a health inspector that actually works at the health inspection thing.
Mhm.
Like, it was an actual person, right? And so
Mhm.
what he did was he actually put cyanide or something, or nitrous cyanide, something like that. So some people died genuinely from that.
Yeah.
Some people survived, but some people genuinely
Wow.
died from that. And like, so this was like an investigation that took like 20 years or something. So like, what happened was, so I guess in Japan there's a custom where it's like if you give a business card, you have to give your business card, right? So it's like a thing. So
So they just had
basically-
to find the business card.
they
Yeah, stack
they
of
tracked the
business
dude
cards.
down. They tracked the dude down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, obviously you didn't do it. You had an alibi. Like, we believe you. Like, but like, who could have given you the business card, right? And so he effectively like just like they track it. So I think he had like 600 business cards. They traced it down to 12 or 20 potential ones, right? And slowly it became like 5 or something. And then there was this one dude who just fit everything. He was an artist, okay, and he had a decent amount of money or something. Like he could afford things. They were like, oh, how could you afford those things? And he was asking. They were asking him, hey, could you like show us his business card because you guys were in contact? And he's like, oh, and he couldn't find it. And another thing happens basically. And it's just like everything starts adding up. It's like, oh, it's this guy for sure, right? Like it's like, and it's like potentially possible that he got, because the thing is, this is like weapons grade cyanide stuff. Like, how did he get that? And apparently he like worked at like some team, like, or he worked in the Japanese army in like it's like chemical unit or something where they did this stuff. So he easily could have gotten it, right?
Right.
And so. Actually, I don't know. I think I'm butchering the story. Either that happened or, like...
Probably.
Basically what happens is they have enough evidence, but all the evidence is circumstantial, but they get this man arrested, right? Indicted. And they basically put him on death row. And he's on death row for like 20 or 30 years, something. It's something like that. And it's like the longest time someone has been on death row in Japan. And, you know, like he ends up dying of pneumonia in the prison that he's in. Like he doesn't even get, like, executed. But it's like after the fact, the case is like kind of open still because it's like, you know, it doesn't necessarily make sense, like all these things, right? It's
Right.
like,
We couldn't
how can you
add
get
up
these
everything.
things? Yeah. So it was like everything was like circumstantial. It wasn't like true hardcore evidence. And so yeah, and then
I
like,
think
to
it
this
was
day,
the
it's like,
banker.
nobody knows. That's crazy.
It's a
That's
murder
so
mystery.
crazy.
I the entire time I think it's a murder mystery game.
Guys, I think it was FDR.
So I think it was.
It was the ghost of FDR.
It was the ghost of the atomic bomb.
No.
Oh my god.
Yikes.
Yeah. Anyway,
That was a cool
So,
video.
anyways,
though, dude.
we solved at least 2 crimes on this podcast.
Maybe we still have time. We have like 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Last thing. Okay, last of my topics.
20?
So I can't really transition into this one. I mean, kind of. So we watched WandaVision.
You could if you try hard.
And WandaVision, one of the episodes in WandaVision is basically a parody of Malcolm in the Middle. It's the episode 6, I believe, right? So it's like from the point of view of like the kid, and he's like talking to the camera every now and then.
And that's the one that goes, "'Cause no one told you life was gonna be this way."
That's Friends.
No,
Oh, it's not that
I am
one?
so disappointed, sir.
Anyway, so I like this is so weird to me. Like I subconsciously just wanted to watch Malcolm in the Middle again because I've seen like a lot of the episodes when I was younger, and like I just started watching it on Hulu. God, what a great sitcom show! I think it's like the first of its like. It's very revolutionary because it's like
I think it's the
single
first
camera
sitcom
sitcom
ever.
show. It's a single camera sitcom show, right? And it's of a lower class family, like lower middle class family, right? And it's so
Lower middle class family?
or just a low class.
I don't get it.
Malcolm in the middle?
Oh, because he's in the middle.
No.
Malcolm
no,
in the
that's
middle
not it.
class.
Oh my god.
Well, effectively-
Oh my god.
No.
Oh
Stop
my
doing that.
god. Dude, that's. Oh shit.
Okay, well you're about to
Okay,
get super.
Did they name it after him?
You're about to get super muted, Luke.
Wait, you're gonna tell me next you're gonna tell me one of the characters in the show is Malcolm? Okay, anyway.
Well, so it's the premise is he's in a very like, money type family, and he's a genius. Like he like takes like a gifted test in like the first episode.
Is he a chemistry genius?
No, but the dad is Walter
No,
White.
because yeah, that's what I
Oh,
was
Well,
thinking.
that
that's
is
the
Bryan
show.
Cranston.
I was trying to make.
That's the show.
Yeah.
I was wondering what
Yeah.
the sitcom with
Bro,
Bryan
it's so
Cranston
crazy to watch Bryan Cranston as the dad, just because of Breaking Bad.
because you're
It's like
thinking
cra-
he's such a serious actor, and then he's playing in a sitcom.
But he's like pretty funny and kooky in the show, and he's like I like him. He's like one of the better parts of the show.
And then you think, wow, this dude killed like 9 people simultaneously.
Oh yeah, with like a gun that was in a car.
In a TV show.
Yeah.
In a TV show, not in real life.
In real life.
not in real life.
He
No,
organized and
not
executed
Luke, no.
9 people
No, no, no.
simultaneously.
Luke actually
Yeah.
believes everything he sees on TV is real.
I highly recommend though if you guys need a sitcom to watch or anything like an Office fix because obviously no one's watching Office on Peacock. Watch
Yeah.
Malcolm in the Middle on Hulu. It's a great show. It's a great show. I
Sucks
love
that
it.
I don't have Hulu anymore.
Oh yeah, that is. It's on Amazon for free.
Sucks. I am.
You might have ads though. I don't know about that,
I can't stand ads.
but you might not if you watch it through Prime. So I don't know.
Oh, they can't stand ads.
I
They
don't know,
can't.
dude. Just-
Amazon can't stand them.
I don't know. Just watch it.
Doctors hate him.
I have my ears. In Jeff's. I have my mouth in Jeff's ear. I can tell him to remove the ads whenever I want.
Oh, if you like Community, I think you'll definitely like Malcolm in the Middle. It's just like the episodes are just so funny. It's like, or like the concepts of the episodes too, just how like kooky it is. Because like the mom, it's like she's kind of like a prison warden, you know, just the way she acts and stuff. And it's like the way they like refer to her and stuff like that. And just certain scenes, especially like cold opens, are just so funny to me. Like they're just like, and like Dewey, the youngest brother, the thing, or like in the show, at least in the first few seasons, he's just so. He just does things like each character has like a quirk about them that's really odd, right? So like I don't know, like Malcolm's obviously like super smart, but like Reese is like you know, just like dumb, but he's like creative with the ways he's violent, right? Like he's just really mean to people. He's like a bully, but he's like creative in the ways he's a bully and stuff like that. I don't know. You just like need to watch the show. I think you'll get hooked within the first episode.
What you said a second ago reminded me. If you guys liked Community, you'd like this block party I'm having on Saturday.
This block party with everyone that's gotten COVID in the last week.
Yeah, it's like when the baby, or like when a person baby gets chickenpox.
When baby,
all the other, when all the other babies have to come hang out with the baby to get chickenpox as well, so that they can already get it. Yeah,
what we're doing is we're all spitting in shot glasses, putting them in a roulette wheel, and then playing roulette with the shot glasses, and you have to drink.
You guys are making your own wine. It's saliva.
Disgusting.
Yeah, it's with your own saliva. It's called enzyme.
Saliva. Is it called enzyme? I thought that was chemical.
No, that's gonna be the name of the wine. The enzyme.
The enzyme.
Yes, the enzyme.
The ends wine. Okay, that was a horrible.
You guys are so bad. This episode's over. We're done. It's over.
No, we can't be done yet.
Good.
See, Luke thought it was funny.
That was so good.
We're done.
Man.
Luke is 100% serious right now.
No, Daniel, you just killed this podcast. We're done. We're not filming anymore after that joke.
We're not just done with this episode. We're like done for good.
Yeah. We're getting communitied. We might get renewed by Yahoo. Tune in to yahoo.com, where our next podcast will be in a year.
Yahoo.com.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that we just single-handedly get YouTube shut down because of how bad our podcasts are?
Yeah, for real.
We're the something on the camel's back. The straw that broke the camel's back.
The
Dang,
straw
man.
that broke.
Not Logan Paul. Not Logan Paul. Not even Jake Paul. Not Logan Paul and Jake Paul. But us.
Yeah, Daniel, it's not the straw that broke Jake Paul's back.
No, look, that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's odd. Everything's weird. I'm on that crypto wave. Yeah, I've been putting money into.
I never
Bitcoin,
understood
Ethereum.
that saying, Daniel, because I'm thinking about it. Where would you get straw in the desert where camels are? There's no grass.
Luke, you're a genius. No one's ever thought of that. No one has ever thought, man, hold on a second. This idiom, which most idioms genuinely don't make sense. But this one in particular doesn't make sense.
No, some of them make sense.
Literally,
like, never looked a gift horse in the mouth. That
never looked a gift gorse in the gouth.
I don't even know what that means. What does that mean?
It means don't look, when you when you receive a gift, don't look at it and like be very criticizing of it.
Oh, because
you know why it makes sense, Daniel?
No.
You know why it makes sense?
I know why it makes sense. Because you look at a horse's mouth
every horse
to make sure how they're healthy.
Every horse you see, all the good running horses, they have their mouths sewn shut to make them more aerodynamic.
Naimur's face.
So if you look at
Naimur's face
the
was so
mouth,
funny. He just was pure shock and horror. Like, what is he talking about? And then
Oh no, it's because I actually played like a sound. I was watching it.
Oh, okay. I thought you were responding to him. Like, here's the other thing. Like, kill two birds with one stone. I've never been able to do that. I don't think that's a real thing.
I have. You just stack up the birds on top of each other.
I played a lot of Call of Duty with a mouse and keyboard.
I think is that reverse Angry Birds? No, reverse Angry Birds would be throwing pigs.
Yes.
Yeah, angry piggies. I hate angry birds.
More like angry piggies, more like angry cops.
Bro, remember when there was genuine thought that
good one
the video game industry was gonna get taken over by the mobile phone? People were like, the console gaming is dead.
Too big. We gotta shut it down.
It's like console gaming's dead. Mobile gaming is the future.
And then we put the we metaphorically ringed the chicken's neck on mobile gaming when I deleted English.
That is not a saying. That is not a saying. Rings of the chicken's neck.
We choked.
Rung the chicken's neck.
We choked the crap out of Jeffrey Epstein. Things.
Dude, I want that to be a new idiom. We choked the crap out of Jeffrey Epstein.
We Jeffrey Epstein the crap out of this idea. I don't know, something like that.
No, that's
more like
Oh
the
my
idea
God.
Jeffrey Epstein itself, because okay,
because it killed it. Well, no, it didn't.
You could say if
Well,
somebody killed themselves,
I'm-
they didn't Jeffrey Epstein themselves. That could work.
well, I'm just saying
That's so
that
horrible.
if
The
you
double
just-
negative there.
That is
They
true.
didn't kill themselves. Am I right?
No, they didn't Jeffrey
Guys-
Epstein.
I know, but that's implying they
Recently-
didn't.
Recently, in my armpit area, I've been finding these really long strands of just green fungus. I don't
Okay,
know what
what?
I'm supposed to do.
What?
Let's just trying to.
You know, I
bit.
put them on your bed. I put
Oh
them on
my
your bed
God.
in case you want to look at them.
Look, I have
Is
a
that
genuine
why-
question.
is that why
why,
you're
why do you
basically-
why do you talk sometimes? Like why? Why does it compel
I'm just
you
trying
to
I'm
continue
just trying to
talking
have fun.
sometimes?
I'm just trying to have fun, dude. If you don't want to have fun, you can get out
hey,
of my room.
if you don't want to hear about his armpits, we're not real friends. His armpit fungus.
Any movie recommendations? I'll probably watch like 2 movies tonight. I'm
George.
probably gonna watch Roma tomorrow for the first time.
Mhm.
I haven't
Roma?
seen Roma yet.
I've only
anything
seen
else?
parts of it.
I don't have any
Casablanca.
other recommendations other than Courage.
Schindler's List. Great rom com. it.
The great, you know, that's a thing I really like on TikTok recently, where people will have movie clips, and then the top comment is for people who are wondering, this is Schindler's List, or it's like, oh, people who are confused, this is a clip from Boy in the Striped Pajamas, like, you know, something that it's like clearly not. It's like a the clip is
Naimur,
from
one movie.
Yeah.
One movie I'd recommend you watch. It's on. Google says right now it's on Hulu and Amazon Prime. Is this movie Slow West? It's like a western. It's really good. It has Michael Fassbender
Fassbender.
and
Why'd you
a
say it
couple
like
other
that?
people.
Oh, you
Why would
watched
you say that?
him in Steve Jobs.
I didn't
Yeah,
watch
he's
him in
funny.
Steve Jobs.
He's
Well,
like
we
the
watched
he's the
his-
actor that nobody really knows, or is it, he's just like the blank face actor, right? Like he can just
Mhm.
play anything. Because like, you know, like I think
See,
some
I've-
actors have that problem. So like with the Steve Jobs Ashton Kutcher version of the movie, it's like it completely takes you out because it's Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
Like you watch the
Mhm.
movie, you're like, that's Ashton Kutcher, that's Ashton Kutcher, that's Ashton Kutcher. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's the same thing. It's like
Mhm.
whenever you watch like John Krasinski and anything, you slowly think like that's Jim Halpert. That's Jim
Yeah.
Halpert. It's like that type of that should be like a phenomenon. I don't know what they'd call it, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's like
The Jim Halpert
for
phenomenon.
Michael Fassbender is like the opposite. He can literally just play anything, and you just like you're like, oh, he is that dude. Yeah, I mean,
Well, I think
So he's just
Walking
a blank
Phoenix
face.
I was
does
gonna
that
say, I
really
have-
well too.
Yeah, that too.
But people
Yeah.
recognize him. But even still, like when he gets in a role,
I don't even
you-
recognize
you-
him in most of his things.
Yeah, exactly. Once he gets in a role, you're just like, oh, that is Daniel. No, wait, what am I talking about? Also Daniel Day-Lewis.
Walking Phoenix.
But yes, Walking
Daniel
Phoenix.
Day-Lewis.
I was just trying to think. I was like, yes, Walking Phoenix. I was trying to think of a role he's been in. Joker. There you go. But yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis as the
I was
oil
gonna say-
tycoon is like, yeah.
Mhm.
That
I was
example
gonna
as
say
well.
I have a lot of respect for Michael Fassbender. He speaks 3 languages, which I think is crazy. I can't even speak 2 or 1.
I think
meant
Neymar's
to say one, I
frozen.
said
Luke, you
two.
want to double? You want to verify that for me? Is Neymar's picture frozen?
I will server kick him. I will kick him from the server.
No, don't server kick him.
Or
Let him
I'll
figure it
disconnect
out
him
on
and
his
make
own.
him rejoin. He is definitely frozen. I'm trying to disconnect him. It's not working.
Okay, well, I'll just text
So,
him. Your
guess he passed
video
away.
is frozen for us.
Rest in peace. May he live
so,
forever in our hearts.
You know,
I'm
He's
back. I'm
back.
back. I'm
No,
back.
he's
I'm back.
back.
okay.
Hey, he's back.
My Wi-Fi went out in my dorm, so,
So,
Oh,
I
it
muted
would.
though. Like after I said, oh, I think I'm muted, or I think I got kicked. So
You
you,
think
can
you
just
got
cut
kicked?
out when that
Okay.
happens.
Cool.
I didn't pause like some idiot. I'm just kidding.
I didn't even pause. I just paused itself. I'm telling you, dude.
Yeah, what was I talking about?
Telling you.
we
Yeah,
had
Heath
we had
Ledger.
so
He
much.
did-
We literally had so much conversation while you were gone. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Talk
No,
about Heath
Even
Ledger.
Heath Ledger, like you can't even tell Heath Ledger is the Joker when you just watch it.
Mm-mm.
He does that so well. It's crazy. Christian Bale's like that too, kind of. Where he's just
Mhm.
like a blank slate every time
Mhm.
he plays something, but he does it so well. Like you know, when
He's
he-
quite
he's in-
literally a blank slate because he could change his physiology for you. For
that,
for a
not only that
director.
too, but just the way he talks. You know, it's
Mhm.
like In The Fighter, he generally sounds like he's like, wherever that movie is
he
from.
in
like,
the
I guess Boston.
Prestige?
Yes, yeah, he's in
Okay.
Prestige.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prestige. Dick Cheney in Vice, crazy, the way he talks.
Yeah.
He talks like Dick Cheney.
Oh, I didn't mention it before, but I rewatched Tenet on Monday.
Mhm.
That was pretty good. I understood it a lot better the second time. I
I
was able to
didn't.
put a lot more of the pieces together.
I didn't. Maybe I'll watch Inception again. I like that movie. That movie's easy to understand.
Inception still.
Why can't, it's on Netflix. Go watch it.
No,
Go watch it. Go watch it. What are you
No.
doing? What are you
No.
doing? Go watch Inception.
I am disobeying you, sir.
Name this title of the podcast. Go watch Inception.
I'm gonna name this. I
the
will name
entire
the title of the podcast. I will name the title of the podcast. Ron John's Surf and Turf.
WandaVision episode 10. We skipped WandaVision episode 9.
No, it's Surf Shop, Luke.
Surf
He was reading
and
my
turf.
shirt. Surf and
Surf
turf.
and turf.
Visual-
Surfs and turfs.
Sure.
Visual jokes, the best kind for an audio podcast.
He's reading off my
They
shirt,
are.
guys. I'm wearing like a night shirt that
Ron
says
John Surf and Turf. Surf
No,
and
it's-
Turf.
Luke's
Surfs and turfs.
Wearing a Shroot Farms shirt.
I am. Joey got me this shirt for my birthday 2 years ago.
Joey, the person that will never appear on this podcast, we'll always talk about.
We'll always talk
Our
about it.
spirit. May he rest in peace.
No,
Dude,
listen, we
wouldn't it be
already
funny if we just convinced the audience is just convinced he's dead and then he shows up on a podcast. We just convince the
Yeah.
audience
we,
like, yeah,
we already
rest in
have
peace.
we already have our token, a token not white person. We don't need another.
The token
That's what I'm
minority. is what they're saying.
That's what I was trying to say.
Luke, you're
Yeah.
like Cartman in that episode of South Park, where he hates minorities, but then he realizes he is a minority because white people are considered a minority, and he gets so sad. That's you,
That's me.
man. What a great way to end this podcast. All right, I feel like we're at time.
Who says
right?
we're ending it? Who says we're ending it?
I-
David? We can go on. I can go on all night.
Are you turning into me? Because I used to be like this.
Yeah, you
You
did.
used to be like what?
He used to, Naimur used to be the one that would always push. It's like, no, we can go longer. We can go longer. We can go longer. And
No,
now
I'm
you're.
totally kidding. We should end it right now.
We should end it right now.
Yeah. All
Right
right.
now.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. No, thank you guys so much for watching. See you
Oh,
next
okay.
time.
Or see you
Well,
tomorrow.
okay.
Oh,
Why?
Uh,
You ruined
Okay,
it, Luke.
bye.
Just stop. Okay. Bye.